Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So you're planning a move to Las Vegas. Well, let me tell you what, making a move is what some consider the most stressful thing that you can do in your entire life. It means packing yourself and your entire crew up, all of your belongings, trekking across the country to a brand new city to start fresh. You may not even know a soul in this whole town. Will you really like it? You may be wondering, what's it going to be like when I really get there? What about the move itself? All the stuff that you got to handle and do. The whole thing is incredibly stressful. So in this video, I'm going to give you 5 steps to make the move to Las Vegas so much easier. I'm going to pull up the map of the town. I'm going to show you some of the main areas, give you an overview, so to give you a little bit more of an idea where you might want to live. I'm going to dive into each of those 5 steps. We're going to get into it right now. Let's go. Hey guys, this is Tom Swallow with eXp Realty and Finding Home Las Vegas. #1 relocation team in all of Las Vegas, and we get calls, texts, and emails every day from people just like you looking to make the move to Las Vegas, and we have a blast helping them. And we're more than happy to help you too. We work our butts off days, nights, and weekends. We got your back. Everything you need to know about making the move to Las Vegas. So, give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email, and we're more than happy to help you make that smooth move to Las Vegas. And if you'd like to know everything there is about living, working, and playing in beautiful Sin City, then subscribe below, tap that bell icon for notifications so you'll be the first to know when we have a new video out. We put videos out every week with the intent of educating you on everything you want to know about Vegas. So be sure and watch for those new videos. So just the other day I was thinking about my previous career before I got into real estate. The company that I worked for would move us every 18 months to 2 years or so. And honestly, it really sucked, because just about the time we started to really love that community and make friends and really start to put down some roots, they move us out and move us on to the next spot. You know, it was really tough. So I started thinking, and I added up how many times I moved from city to city, state to state, country to country even. The company I worked for actually moved us out of the country for a couple of years. I added it up and I've moved 12 times. And in the 20 years or so since I've lived in Vegas, I've moved another 4 times. Not to mention the hundreds of clients that I've helped move here from out of state over these 12 years in real estate. So I do know a thing or two about moving. So that's why I decided to put together this video to try to help you make a smooth move to Las Vegas and make that move a little bit easier. So let's jump into the 5 steps to making the move to Las Vegas easier. The step #1 is do your research. So the first part of the research stage that I think is important is finding the right area. The mistake that I think so many people make is they make it just about the house first. They look online and they pick the house that they fall in love with, and then it becomes about the house more so than the area. I think that finding the right area is about your lifestyle. It's one of the reasons that I named my website Finding Home Las Vegas and my YouTube channel Finding Home Las Vegas, because we really believe that it's not just about finding a house. A house is a place where you eat and sleep. Finding a home is about your lifestyle, and that lifestyle is compiled of what are the areas in that neighborhood. You know, what are the things that you like to do? How close is it to the gym? Do you want to find out how close it is to the grocery store, to the bank? How far is the commute? What are the schools like? You know, are the schools good for your kids? All of those things that make up your lifestyle is the most important thing. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull up the map of Las Vegas, and I'm going to go over the main areas of town and tell you a little bit about it and give you an idea of which of those areas, give you an overview of where you might want to live once you decide to move here. So let's jump into the map. All right, folks, as promised, we're going to take a look at, kind of give you a general look at the Las Vegas Valley. Here, let me get my old man glasses on so I can actually see. All right, first let me give you a little bit of an overview of the main thoroughfares in and around town. Coming from Los Angeles, you've got I-15 that comes right through the middle of town along the side of the strip. right through downtown, up and out, and then up towards Salt Lake City. You've got the 215 Beltway that connects up to the 15 up in North Las Vegas and circles around the northwest side of town, down through Summerlin, and then around and over into Henderson, and connects here to the 515. The 515 comes from downtown and down around the east side, and then down towards Boulder City. You've got, it turns into Interstate 11 out over Hoover Dam and then out into Arizona. We've got the 95 that connects to downtown and then circles around up through the northwest and up to Reno. Then you've got Summerlin Parkway that connects the 95 over to the 15. So those are the main thoroughfares around town. Gives you a little general idea of that. Let's jump up to the north side of town to North Vegas. We'll show you kind of the north and the northwest. Up in the north, you've got, and let me get my pen again. You've got a master plan community called Aliante, which is a beautiful master plan community right up here. Get some really, really great values for homes up in this part of town. Also, over here, you've got Nellis Air Force Base. So any service folks, first of all, thank you for your service. A lot of the military that live or that work at Nellis like to live in this area of town right in here. So if you are locating here to Nellis Air Force Base and you need to find a home up in the northeast part of town, we're more than happy to help you with that. One of the things that kind of bothered me, I almost bought a brand new home here in Aliante when we moved here in 2005. But you've got to drive 10 or 15 minutes back this way to get to the 95 to then get in here, or you have to come all the way out to the 15. So you're driving 10 or 15 minutes east or west before you ever even start coming south. And there is no north-south connector here. So you have to circle around in order to get to North Vegas. So that's one of the things that always bothered me. We actually ended up, when we first moved here, we bought up in Centennial Hills. We bought a house right about here. One of the great things about living up in the far northwest is if you like hiking and you like to get out of town and go up to Mount Charleston, I could leave my driveway, hit Cow Canyon Road, and then head right up to Mount Charleston, and could leave my driveway and be there at 7,500, 8,000 feet above sea level in 30 minutes. Leave the desert with 110, 115 degree heat and go up to 70 degrees in just a matter of minutes. It's beautiful up there. So something to consider when you consider the northwest part of town. All right, let's shift a little bit down towards Summerlin. Let me show you where Summerlin sits in here. Let me get my pen again. So Summerlin sits in right in here, down to the mesas and back up and around. That's basically where Summerlin sits over here on the west side of town. Also adjacent to Red Rock Canyon and Calico Basin. So if you're into biking or hiking and just getting out in nature, a very quick little 5-minute drive out of Summerlin up to Calico Basin and Red Rock Scenic Loop. Summerlin is one of the most popular master plan communities in all of the country, and by far the most popular master plan community in the Las Vegas area. So many beautiful homes, beautiful neighborhoods, comprised of 20 different villages, with I think 10 more planned. The properties here hold their value better than anywhere in Las Vegas, and they also appreciate more than anywhere in Las Vegas, but you also have to pay a premium to be in Summerlin. Great schools, great shopping, great restaurants. It's just a wonderful place. So Summerlin is one of the most popular parts of town. All right, let's shift just a little bit more to the south here. Now let's take a look at kind of in the middle of town. We've got Spring Valley. Spring Valley sits right in here. Spring Valley is a little bit older part of town. You can get some really good value for homes in this part of town. Um, as you go a little further south, we've got the guard-gated country club community of Rhodes Ranch right here, and then another master plan community of Nevada Trail here. All the way down to the southwest part of town, you've got Mountain's Edge that sits all the way down to the southwest. Kind of similar to Aliante on the north. Thing that I don't like about Mountain's Edge is you have to drive, 10 or 15 minutes all the way down Blue Diamond to hit the 15, or you got to deal with traffic and lights up Rainbow or Durango or Buffalo or Fort Apache to get back to the 215 to get anywhere. So a little bit isolated down on the southwest part of town, but it's a beautiful, beautiful neighborhood. So if you don't mind having to drive to get to some of the other parts of town, or if you work down in that part of town, or you just don't get out and about a whole lot, then that could work as well. Let me make another little shift here. So now at the very south part of town, we've got a beautiful master plan community of Southern Highlands. Southern Highlands sits right in here. Southern Highlands has the exclusive guard-gated golf course community, Southern Highlands Country Club right here. Multi-million-dollar homes, absolutely gorgeous golf course, and lots of other affordable homes in this part of Southern Highlands. So the good thing about Southern Highlands is it sits right along the 15, so you can easily jump on the 15 to get to the airport, to the Strip, or south going out of town down to LA. All right, so now let's shift over to, well, first let me show you the last kind of part of Vegas on this side of town. That's Silverado Ranch. So the dividing line between Henderson and Vegas is pretty much right here. So this is Silverado Ranch that sits right in this area here. That area also a little bit older, built in the 80s and 90s. You've got a good value that you can find in there. All right, let me zoom in just a little bit on what we call New Henderson. To the very far southeast part of Henderson, you've got Inspirada. Inspirada sits right in here, and it is one of the most popular master plan communities in Henderson. Lots of young families are moving in here, tons of new construction going on in this part of town. In fact, this entire quadrant right down in here is where all the new development is going in, which is driving up the appreciation of Inspirada big time. So if you're a young family and you're looking for a great spot with other young families and great schools, Inspirada is it. Then we move over into Anthem. The very south end is Madera Canyon. Madera Canyon sits the highest up on the hill. All of this, as you work up from northwest to southeast, is moving up the hill. So you've got Anthem Highlands right up here, Madera Canyon. You've got Sun City Anthem, which is a 55 plus retirement community that is on the Revere Golf Course here. All of these have amazing views of Las Vegas, the Strip, and downtown. Then you've got Anthem Country Club that sits right in here, another exclusive guard-gated country club community. Also beautiful homes with amazing views back towards downtown. As you move a little further north, you've got Grand Hills and Seven Hills that sit right in here. Grand Hills has, again, multi-million-dollar homes around the Rio Seco Golf Course, incredible views. Seven Hills feels like you're not even in Las Vegas. It has a very California feel to it. Beautiful, beautiful area. All right, let's shift a little bit to the north here in New Henderson. And I say New Henderson because this is considered New Henderson and this is considered Old Henderson. So we'll get to Old Henderson in a minute. One of the original master plan communities here in Las Vegas is Green Valley. Green Valley North and Green Valley South sit right over here. Here's Green Valley North and Green Valley South. These were also built in the 80s and 90s, just a little bit older. You can find some really good value in here as well. When you go just to the south of the 215, you've got Green Valley Ranch, with another master plan community that sits right in here. Green Valley Ranch is also home to the district at Green Valley, which is kind of the heartbeat of New Henderson. This is actually the part of town that I live in. I absolutely love it. Green Valley, the district has a beautiful outdoor shopping area with great restaurants and shops, and tons of activities right in here. Then you've got another 55 plus golf course community called McDonald Ranch. And then you've got the ultra exclusive McDonald Highlands right here with the Dragon Ridge Country Club, multi-million-dollar homes, again, with amazing views of downtown and the Strip. Okay, let's move out to Old Henderson, or what is sometimes affectionately known as Hendertucky. Old Henderson is on the older side of town, but there are some beautiful areas here in Old Henderson. You've got the Water Street district here with downtown Henderson. This is undergoing a revival with tons of new restaurants and developments coming in here. You've got lots of pockets of beautiful little quaint homes in Old Henderson. Out here along Racetrack, you've got some really big pieces of property. Some custom homes here, again, with beautiful views back towards downtown out in Old Henderson. Let's shift a little bit further out to the east. And we've got one of the newest master plan communities here in Henderson is called Cadence. Cadence sits right in here. Also very popular with young families. Great schools, parks, trails, everything going in here. Lots of new construction happening here in Cadence. We've got the guard-gated golf course community of Tuscany here. And then let's move out just a little further to the west. Get rid of those other drawings. We've got, well, let's try that again. We've got Lake Las Vegas out to the far east. Lake Las Vegas is absolutely gorgeous. It feels like a world away. It feels like you're in a whole nother world. Out, it's a little further out. It might take you, depending on what part of the development you're in, by the time you get out and then get down through Old Henderson and down the 215 to get to the Strip or to the airport, it might take you 30 or 45 minutes from out here. You've got the exclusive guard-gated Jack Nicklaus South Shore Country Club on the south side of Lake Las Vegas. Then you've got the Jack Nicklaus Public Golf Course of Reflection Bay on the north side of Lake Las Vegas. You've got the Lake Las Vegas Village here, which is this quaint little village of cobblestone streets. Makes you feel like you're in Italy when you're out here. Like I said, it's an absolute world away. It's beautiful. But you have to realize that you're a little bit farther out there. And then last but not least, we've got Boulder City on the southeast side. Boulder City is a small little town of about 15,000 people. Quaint little downtown, beautiful views of Lake Mead. It is not a lot of development going on out here, so kind of supply and demand. It makes prices a little bit more expensive, about 15 or 20% more per square foot for homes out in Boulder City, but it's a very quiet, small town feel out there in Boulder City. So there we go. There's an overview of Las Vegas. A little recap again. We've got North Las Vegas, Aliante to the north. We've got Centennial Hills, Sky Canyon, Providence to the northwest. We've got Summerlin on the west side, Spring Valley kind of central. We've got Rhodes Ranch, Mountain's Edge, Southern Highlands to the south, south and southwest, Silverado Ranch, right over on the edge of Henderson. Over in New Henderson, we've got Inspirada, Anthem, Green Valley, Ranch, Green Valley, Old Henderson, Cadence, Lake Las Vegas, and Boulder City. All right, there you go. There's an overview of Las Vegas. The second part of the research phase is watch our videos. One of the best ways to start to learn about Las Vegas is to watch our videos. That's the purpose of them. We put out videos every week teaching you everything you could want to know about living, working, and playing here in beautiful Sin City. The intent is to put out videos about the different neighborhoods. So we do cost of living, we do pros and cons, we do map videos. We're constantly trying to put out the best content so you can learn everything you want to know about Las Vegas. So, on that subject, you can only watch the videos if you subscribe and hit that bell icon so you get notified when we put out new videos. So, go ahead right now, subscribe. I'm waiting for you. Go ahead. I'm waiting. Okay, that's a good job. I saw you do it that time. All right, now we can move on. So the next part of the research phase is narrowing down the part of town. This is where we come in. So reach out to us and let's have a talk and we can help you start to narrow that down. The best way to reach us is our contact information down in the description. You know what? In fact, let's just put it right here on the screen. Here's our phone number and email address. Go ahead, pause the video if you need to and write that down. So write that down and contact us, or in the description below there's also a link to schedule a Zoom call. You can go to there and find a time that works for you and schedule a Zoom call. We found that that is the absolute best way, because what we end up doing is we get to put a face to a name. You tell us everything that's important about you, your wants, your desires, your needs in the home, the areas that you like. We can share our screen, we can pull up the map of town, show you the different parts of town, go into detail about what those neighborhoods are like, what's the commute to work for you. We really can start to zero in on where you want to be, like we were talking earlier. And then we can look at houses together on there. We can really start to narrow it down. After that, we can fine-tune that save search in the website, so then you only get emailed properties that you want to see that really fit your wants and needs in the areas of town once we've narrowed that down, and you're not wasting a bunch of time looking at houses that don't work for you. So schedule that Zoom call. You'll be glad that you did. So one of the next parts of the research phase is, hey, plan a trip to town. Come to town and start to explore around and get ahead of the curve a little bit. Even if you're months out or even a year out, go ahead, plan a trip to town. You know good and well there's cheap flights to Las Vegas and there's really good rates at some of the hotels down on the Strip. So come into town and start to familiarize yourself with the neighborhoods that you may end up wanting to live in. I've got a little secret that is something that we're about to launch that I think you're going to think is pretty cool. It's a self-guided GPS tour. What we've done is we've divided the town up into different tours. So you pick a tour and it's going to take you to some of the great sight spots that you need to see in that part of town. You click on that spot and you can either go in the order that we've put it together. We've kind of done it in like a sequential loop type of a tour. Or you can just pick any spot on the tour that you want to go to. You pick either the Apple Map or a Google Map, whichever you prefer, whether you're an Apple user or an Android user. And no matter where you are, it'll just, from that spot, it'll bring up the directions to that first destination. You follow the directions to it. Once you get there, there'll be a little link. You can pull up a website that'll give you lots of information about that spot. Once you've explored around there, you go to the next spot on the tour. It brings up the directions, takes you to that, takes you around the entire tour. You can do that tour in one day or do a couple of different tours in the same day, do some more the next day. It's totally up to you. Isn't that cool? So it's coming out soon, and if you'd like to be one of the first ones to be sent the information on how to access that tour, drop us a comment below or send us an email at info@findinghomelasvegas.com and we'll get that to you. Not only that, once we have it live, we'll shoot a video about it, so you can watch that video too. And again, don't forget to subscribe so you'll know when those videos come out. So, pretty cool, huh? The self-guided GPS tour coming your way soon. Okay, the next part of the research phase is what we call an exploratory tour. So let's just say that you're in town and you're on a little mini vacation, or you've planned a trip to town to learn a little bit more about Las Vegas and you'd like a little bit more of a personal experience. So let's get you out from behind that damn keyboard and let's get out and take a tour. what we'll do is we'll schedule a time. We'll either pick you up from your hotel or you can meet us somewhere. You jump in the car with either myself or one of our team members, and we're going to take you out and show you the parts of town that you're interested in. We're going to tell you everything about that town, show you the neighborhoods. We're going to talk to you about the restaurants, the shopping, the schools, the parks, the dog park, the everything. We're going to tell you all about that part of town. We can even go into some of the neighborhoods, pick some houses that you'd like to go and take a look at, really start to get an idea of what your money will buy you in that neighborhood. We've just learned that it's one of the best ways to really start to learn about Las Vegas. We're more than happy to do that for you. That's what makes us the #1 relocation team in Las Vegas, because we work our butt off for you. See what I mean? So hit us up and we'll schedule that exploratory tour. Okay, the last part of the research phase is getting a pre-approval letter. I cannot begin to tell you how important it is for you to do your research and meet with a lending professional to find out how much home you can actually afford. I go into great detail in another video, the 5 steps of buying in 2023, which you can watch here or wherever it is. Anyway, when you get a chance, go watch that video. It goes into great detail. But to sum it up, it makes so much sense for you to meet with a lending professional and find out how much home you could afford. Why would you want to waste days, weeks, even months looking at homes that you may not end up qualifying for? So here's a cool little story. Not too long ago, I had a client that reached out to me that let me know that they were ready to buy. I asked them what their budget was, and they told me, and I asked them had they spoken with a lender yet, and they had not. So I got them together with my lender partner, Norbert Jeffrey, with Leader One Financial. Norbert is the absolute best. You know, that reminds me, I need to do a video with Norbert, let you guys meet him. Anyway, we'll get around to that. So they met with Norbert, and he went over all their financials, and it turns out that they qualified for much more house than they thought they could afford at a payment that they were really comfortable with. So what we did is we made a shift to their save search on the website, and it turns out that a beautiful house popped up in their email the very next day, and they wanted to go take a look at it. So we went and looked at the house, and they absolutely loved it. And since they had that pre-approval letter in hand, we were able to write an offer that day, and it was accepted the next morning. And because Norbert does such a great job at closing transactions quickly, literally 25 days from the day that they contacted me until we closed on their 2-story, 4-bedroom, 2,800 square foot home with a beautiful, gorgeous pool in the backyard, they were over the moon excited, as you can imagine. So do your research, get that pre-approval letter. It's so important. Okay, on to step 2 of the 5 steps, the personal records. And number 1 and number 2 parts of this second step are really kind of go together. The first is schools and doing your research on the schools. The second is school transcripts. But as far as the schools go, if you do have kiddos and you're going to be putting them into school here, you're going to need to do some research on the schools. We're not allowed to steer to certain neighborhoods or certain schools, so you're going to need to do that research on your own. But some of the best sites to do that research are niche.com and greatschools.org. Those sites will give you a ranking of, typically it's 1 to 10 on how that school ranked. But my suggestion is don't get completely caught up on that number. Do a little bit more due diligence and look into what makes up that number for that particular school, because sometimes what's important to you and your children might not have anything to do with what has caused that number to go up or even go down. So, you know, do a little bit more due diligence about the individual school and don't just go off of the number, because there are some good schools here, some that aren't as good, but that's part of doing your research and taking a look into that. Another thing is, if you're going to be putting your kids into school here, is those school transcripts. So you'll need to get together with the current school and make sure you gather all of the necessary documents that you're going to need, the transcripts and other records that the schools here will need once you transfer your kids into school here. So work on getting those all put together so you'll have that, and that won't delay anything once you make the move here. Okay, part 3 of step 2 on personal records is your pet records. If you've got fur babies, be sure and get together with your vet and get any records, any vaccine records, anything that they have there. So you be sure and have those with you, because when you find a new vet here in Las Vegas, or if you need to take them to the groomer or to doggy daycare, or if you need to board them, they're most likely going to need those records. So be sure and get those records from your vet for your fur babies if you have them. Parts 4 and 5 of step 2 on personal records are: number 4 is your birth certificates and legal documents. So you want to be sure that you've got birth certificates in a safe place, along with any pertinent legal documents that you need to hang on to. Another thing on all of these records, I would suggest keeping these records with you and not boxing them up and putting them in the moving truck with the movers, because you may end up needing them sooner than you get your things back. So gather these documents up and keep them with you. And then number 5 is any medical records that you may need. So especially for the kiddos, if you're taking them into school, in addition to their school transcripts, they're going to most likely need their medical records for them to be admitted, things like vaccine records and things like that. So be sure and gather those all up in ahead of time, so you will have them. That is all of the step 2 of personal records. So now let's head on to step number 3. Step number 3, the packing. So the first part of step number 3 on packing is assess your crap. You know, I think the easiest thing for a lot of people to do is just to pack up everything you have. But you need to keep in mind that moving companies can charge you by per foot, by weight, by the number of trucks that it ends up taking you to actually move all of your things. So take the time to assess your things and get rid of the things that you don't really need. Par it down if you can. It'll help a lot. Okay, so part number 3 of step number 2 is get a 3D floor plan of your house. Here at Finding Home Las Vegas, we have every technology that you can imagine. We actually have software that allows us to go into the home after we close on it and it belongs to you. I can go into the home with our software, and it does a very quick scan of the inside of the home and then actually produces an appraisal grade floor plan of the entire house with all the measurements. And what that'll do is that'll help you really kind of plan out where everything needs to go. And you may even find out that some of your larger pieces of furniture won't fit into this new floor plan. So you might be able to get rid of some of those bigger pieces of furniture. But if nothing else, it'll just help you plan better for your move, because you'll know exactly the size of the rooms and all the measurements in advance. So we do offer that. We can put together a 3D floor plan of your new home. Okay, we're on to parts 3 and 4 of step 3 on packing. These two kind of go together, but number 3 is garage sales. As you can imagine, as many times as I've moved, I have done a lot of garage sales. I'm actually pretty dang good at it. But, you know, if you can have a garage sale, you know, par down again, get rid of some of that stuff that you don't need. There's no reason to pack everything. I mean, really assess the things that you have and have a garage sale and get rid of, lighten your load. Put it that way, lighten your load. So the other thing is, you know, you make a few dollars that could be applied towards your moving expenses. So number 4 is Facebook Marketplace. I absolutely love Facebook Marketplace. I have sold and bought quite a number of things on Facebook Marketplace, but I think it's so much better than Craigslist or OfferUp or any of these others. But, you know, some of the bigger items, more of the expensive items that you don't want to try to sell in a garage sale, you can list them on Facebook Marketplace. You know, take some really good photos and write a really good description and put them out there, and you can get a pretty good dollar for some of your nicer items. So sell those items on Facebook Marketplace. Another good tip is moving boxes. Moving boxes are really expensive. You know, if you go to U-Haul or to Lowe's or Home Depot and buy boxes there, they're really expensive. It can add up really quickly. The last time I moved, I actually looked on Facebook Marketplace and found somebody who had just listed, I think it was 30 or 40 boxes just for free, just to come pick them up. And they had just listed it. I reached out and they were still available. I jumped in the car, went over there and grabbed them. I ended up having to buy, you know, a few more boxes because we needed more than that. So I went to Lowe's and bought those, but it did save me a lot of money up front. And then at the end of the move, I turned around and listed those boxes on Facebook Marketplace and sold them for like 50 bucks and made a little bit of money off of it. So use those resources to get rid of some of your things and just lighten your load. On to part 5 of step 3 of packing is hire professional movers. Now, depending on whether you are hiring a professional moving company that's going to provide the labor, if not, spend the money and hire a company that is licensed, bonded, insured, with professional movers who are going to do it the right way. They're going to take care of your things. They're not going to scuff things and break things and drop things. They have all of the right equipment and tools, the dollies, the straps, they put pads around the corners, and they make a lot better job of it. Trust me, I've made the mistake before of going down to Home Depot and getting some day laborers to come and do the work for me, and you know, they messed things up. So on the packing end and on your destination end, when you get to where you're going, for them to unload the boxes, you know, spend the money and hire professionals. It will save you a lot of headache on both ends of your trip. Okay, on to part 6 of step 3 on packing is my bonus tips for you. After all of the years of all of my moving, I've got some great tips that I want to share. So one of those is go and buy some different colored tape. You can buy duct tape or packing tape, but buy it with several different colors. You know, get red, green, blue, orange, whatever. And then as you box things up, be sure and, you know, write on the boxes which room that they need to go to, but also color coordinate the rooms. And if you put a piece of tape on a couple of different sides, and then once you get to where you're going, you put together a cheat sheet for the movers, and you put on that cheat sheet the different pieces of tape, and then right beside it the room that the boxes go through. That way, as they're unloading the truck and bringing the things in, they don't have to ask you 900 flipping times, where does this box go? They're just carrying the box. They've looked down. It's got blue tape on it. They look at the cheat sheet as they walk by, and that goes to the master bedroom. And so they just go in there. Great tip. So second tip is make an open first box. Open first box or boxes. Put in the things that you're going to need as soon as you get there. There's quite a few things that you're going to want to have access to right off the bat. Things like you know, some tools, a first aid kit, hygiene supplies, pet supplies, device chargers, some utensils, some plates, some cups, some silverware, things like that as soon as you get there you're going to need to have access to. And if you don't do that, they could end up in any box, and trust me, I promise you, the thing that you're looking for will end up in the very last box that you open. So that's a great tip too. Put together your open first boxes. That way, once you get there, you will be able to find those things that you're going to need right away. All right, so give that a try. Oh, and by the way, if you have found this video or any of the other videos that you've watched very helpful, do us a favor and hit that like button. And be sure and subscribe so you'll get access to all the videos as they come out about living, working, and playing in beautiful Sin City. Also, by liking the videos, what it does is it has the YouTube algorithm. It helps the algorithm serve our content up to other people just like you looking to make a move to Las Vegas. So help us out and hit that like button for us. Alrighty, we're on to step number 4, the move. So you've done your research, you've packed up, you've planned, you're ready to go. Now it's time for the actual move. So part number 1 of the move is hiring a professional moving company. If you can, hire a professional moving company. You know, you could just rent a truck and drive it across the country, you know, but they're expensive and they're uncomfortable and they burn gas like crazy, and and you've got to pack everything yourself or hire movers to put, people to pack it up for you and unpack it. If you can hire a professional moving company to do it for you, I would suggest that. Now, if you're going to, do your due diligence, do your research, find out which companies have great reviews, ask all the questions, read all the small fine print, and make sure that you understand what you're getting charged for, when they're supposed to have the things there, how it's insured, what happens if they lose things, what happens if things break. Find out all those details, do your due diligence, but hiring a professional moving company, a really good quality one, can make your move a lot easier for you. Alrighty, on to part 2 of step 4, the move, is setting up your services. So before you move into your new house, you'll need to have set up, at least in advance, you will have to have set up your utilities. So they'll be turned on when you move in. You don't want to miss some of these deadlines because, for example, here in Las Vegas, the gas company, if the gas is turned off before you take possession of the home, then they require somebody to physically be home and for them to be able to come out and have access to the home to check the pilot light on the water heater and the stove and any pilot lights there. So if you miss that deadline, a lot of times there's a 4 or 5 day lead time. You could end up taking cold showers and not able to cook on the stove until that gets taken care of. So you don't want to miss those deadlines. So those types of things need to be handled in advance. So here at Finding Home Las Vegas, the #1 relocation team in Las Vegas, we have set up what's called Utility Connect. This is a free concierge service that is provided to you. They reach out to you about 2 weeks before your close of escrow. And they discuss with you all of the services that they provide. One of the things that they can't do is because of regulations, they can't set up your accounts for your power, your water, your gas, but they'll find out which companies service the address of the home that you've purchased. They give you all of those contact numbers, give you all that information in advance. But what they do provide is, and they can set up for you, is your internet, your satellite, your cable if you want, your security systems. They'll even forward your mail for you. They also have moving quotes. They have home insurance quotes that they can get for you. So a lot of services that are provided, and because they're through eXp Realty as well, they have great deals nationwide, and so they can get better quotes for you than you can get on your own. So they'll be reaching out to you to help you get all of those services set up. And another way that we got you back here at Finding Home Las Vegas. Okay, part number 3 of step 4, the move, is plan your drive. So depending on how far you're driving across the country or from state to state, and depending on if you've got the kiddos with you or the fur babies, plan that drive out. Plan where you're going to be stopping and get those hotels set up ahead of time, get those reservations in place. See if there's any sightseeing spots along the way for you to stop and see to make the drive a little bit more enjoyable for the kids. Here's another bonus tip. The hotels that you pick, make sure that they have a pool. That way when you arrive at the hotel, you can let the kiddos go and swim and burn off some of that steam and some of the tiredness from the drive. So there's a good tip. So next is step number 4, which is kind of goes along with the first part, but try to break it up into 4 to 6 hour shifts if you can. I think one of the tendencies is to want to just, especially as men, we want to get there, by God. So trying to go 8 to 10 hours and just battle through. But again, if you can break it up and take that extra day and just try to go 4 to 6 hours at a time, and it'll save you a lot of headache and a lot of stress, especially if you got the kiddos and your spouse. It could save some tears and possibly a fight or two. So there's another tip there to break that up. And then the last part of step 4 is to know when your stuff is supposed to arrive. You want to have a conversation with your moving company and try to coincide your arrival when the truck is supposed to get there. That way you don't end up having to get a hotel room for extra nights, or God forbid have to sleep on the floor in your new house before your things get there. So that's all of step 4, the move. So now we're gonna head on to step 5. Okay, so now it's time for step number 5, the last part of the 5 parts of making the move to Las Vegas easy. Step number 5 is settling in. The first part is, where the hell are things at? So you've now moved in, you've unpacked, you're settled in, and you realize, well, I'm new here and I don't know where anything is. Well, reach out to us. That's why we're here, is to help you. If you want to know what's the best gym, or where is the best dog park, or maybe you want to go hiking and you're not sure where the best trails are, reach out to us. That's why we're the #1 relocation team in Las Vegas, is we got your back. We're here to help you and give you recommendations for all those things. Part number 2 of settling in is, who should you hire? So now you're all moved in, and maybe you need a pool guy, or you need a landscaper, or you need a lawn guy to come, blow out the backyard, or trim the bushes, or whatever that might be. Maybe you want to remodel the bathroom and you need a good tile guy to come and do the tile. We have a list of vetted vendor partners that we work with that we're more than happy to share with you, so you'll know who to hire for any of those service needs that you have. So that completes the 5 tips. All right, I tell you what, I've moved like a million times, as I mentioned before, and I've helped hundreds of clients move here from out of state, and here's what I know. Moving can be stressful, tiring, and honestly scary as hell. So as the #1 relocation team here in Las Vegas, we can help you not only find your perfect home, we can help that smooth move to Las Vegas. So the only way we can do that is you got to hit us up, you got to reach out. Give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, and I promise you we will work our butt off days, nights, and weekends. We got your back. We're here to help you make a smooth move to Las Vegas. All right, that's it for today. We'll see you around town. Bye-bye.